Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex. I am a travel agent by day and a crafter by night. Lately, I've been working on an African flower motif granny square tote bag, and I got some requests for a tutorial for how to make it. So I went and bought some new yarn. I was going to make another one anyway. This one's going to be a gift, and I want to be 100% clear. I ordered this yarn at midnight. And I was clearly very tired because Pound of Love from Lion Brand Yarn was on sale. So I bought 5 pounds of yarn. You do not need 5 pounds of yarn for this bag. So do not do what I did. But it was on sale. So it's a great deal. So it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. Don't worry. This is the color scheme of our blanket. Not a blanket. Color scheme of our tote bag. Ooh, beautiful. Don't buy 5 pounds of yarn. Do not do that. Do not do what I did. That was silly. First step of the tote bag is going to be making 13 African flower squares. Now, you can make them all the same. I am going to make them all different. So I have 5 colors. Like you saw, we have the dark orange, the light orange, the green, the blue, and the beige. So the beige is always going to be my last 2 rounds. I know that. So I can already take that out of my list. Then I have 4 colors that I'm working with. It's important to me that all of the African flower squares are unique. So I know that I have 4 colors. We'll call them A, B, C, and D. We have 4 colors and 4 color changes. So that gives me 16 possible options, and I only need 13 for this tote bag. So let's get into it. Let's do it. I am using my handy dandy, super cheap, just from Joann's crochet hook. This is an H8 5mm hook. It's my favorite. I love it. There's nothing special about it. It was $5. I love using this hook because it makes my stitches nice and neat, and even when I'm using worsted weight yarn. And all of my pound of weight Lion Brand yarn that I bought is worsted weight. We're going to start with the light orange, color A. And I'm going to go fishing for my starter yarn because I don't want the one on the outside. We want the one on the inside. We are going to leave a nice long tail and start with a slip knot. When I do my slip knots, I just do them in my hand because that's the easy way for me to do it. It's how my brain works. And you want the tail to be what tightens. So if you pull on your working thread and it's tightening the knot, you did it backwards. So just start over. It's not that hard. Flip it the other way. You'll be fine. So we're going to start this round with 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3 chains. And then you're going to go double crochet into the first chain of that you've worked. So you can do this as a magic circle if you are smart enough to do a magic circle. My brain doesn't work that way. For some reason, it just can't get magic circles. So this is how I started my granny squares, and it works. It works just fine. So yarn over. Oh, also, I yarn under, not yarn over. It's the way my brain works. So anytime I say yarn over and I do a yarn under, or if I say yarn under, it's the same thing. You are going to double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over, go into that first chain and then pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over through 2. Now that first chain in that first double crochet that we just made are going to be our first bundle. So I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to make 8 of those in this not a magic circle. So I'm going to go double crochet again into the same stitch and I'm going to double crochet a second time, pull up a loop, through two, yarn over, through two. So now we've got two in our same starting chain, and I'm going to chain one and do it again. Yarn over into that first stitch and double crochet. And then we're going to yarn over into that first stitch and double crochet again. All right, that's three, chain one, do it again. And we're going to keep doing that until we have 8, because that is the beginning of a beautiful flower. And we're going to do our last 2 double crochets. So into here, double crochet, and then one more. Okay, and then we're going to chain one to end that bundle. Lock it up. Okay, so now we've got this big gaping hole. We're going to pull it pretty tight so that that first stitch is sticking out right here. And we're going to go into the first stitch under both loops. Oops, it would help if I could get that second loop. There it goes. Come on, baby. There it goes. Okay. And then we're going to slip stitch into this original chain. And sometimes it's a little stiff because it depends on how tight your chain was. So that finishes round 1, and then you pull that tail, pull it tight, super tight. Okay. And so we've got our slip knot. We're going to go, or not slip knot, we got our slip stitch, right? We slip stitched into the last chain. I'm going to chain 1 and leave a nice tail because we're going to sew over it and pull through, right? To tighten. Now we've got round 1. Time for a color change. Color B. Same story. We're going to go fishing for the starting. We're going to take our hook with our new color into one of the chain 1 spaces. So we're going to find a chain 1 space right here. But before we do that, we're going to yarn over because we're making double crochets. And this round is super easy. It is making granny clusters. There we go. Making a granny cluster. So we're going to double crochet, standing double crochet to start this round. Make that knot tight, right? Okay. So we're going to put 3 double crochets in this chain 1 space because we're making a granny cluster. So we're going to yarn over into that same chain 1 space, double crochet. Yarn over, same space. Double crochet. Okay, now we're going to chain 2 between our granny clusters because we are going to need a little more space on this round. So we chain 2 into our next granny cluster. Now this is going to be right next to round 1's knot. So I'm going to put that chain down and we're going to work right next to it. Same chain 1 space. And see how my knot is kind of getting stuck under the granny cluster? We kind of like that. We want that. So get kind of as close as you can. All right, granny cluster, 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm going to chain, after I chain 2, I'm going to crochet into the next chain 1 space over the tail. So I'm holding that tail in the round, kind of as if it was a stitch. So now I'm going to go into that chain 1 space and we're going to crochet over the tail because we want this tail to be woven in and not a giant mess at the end for us to deal with. 2 double, come on now, get off my hook. 2 double crochets. Third double crochet. Oops. It's hard because my yarn is coming from the wrong way. Okay, so there's our granny cluster. We're going to chain 2 and keep on going around the circle. Now we're on our last granny cluster of this round, round 2. So we're going to into this last chain 1 space, double crochet 3 times. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2, and then we are back to the beginning of the round. And this is our first standing double crochet. So we're going to go into this first stitch. Why is it looking like that? There we go. Okay, so we're going to go into this first stitch like this. Hello, good grief. Okay. The yarn just wants to be on my hook. Okay, so we're into that first stitch. We're going to pull one through and slip stitch to join that round. Now we're going to pull on that tail to make sure that round is nice and tight. Okay. Into that one, we're going to chain 1, snip, pull through. Okay, so now we have, it's starting to look, we're going to chain, or we're going to snip off this first tail too, because it's been crocheted over. So we've got this second round done, and we're going to make sure this first round is pulled tight. Okay, keep that first round, keep tight, pulled tight. Round 3. starting this color change the same way as the others. We're going to make a slip knot and slide it on your hook and pull the tail to tighten. All right, so this next round, we're going to do the same color for 2 rounds in a row because this next row is going to be the petals of the flower, basically. So we're going to start in any of the chain 2 spaces. So I'm going to start in this first one that is clockwise from my knot. So this is another one we're going to do a standing double crochet. Come on, silly thing. And go in and pull through. Make sure everything is nice and tight for this first one. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, first standing double crochet. We're going to do one more double crochet right next to it. Double crochet in that chain 2 space. Beautiful. Now, this is where it starts to get fun. We're going to do 2 chains and another 2 double crochets. Chain 2, 2 double crochets in that same chain 2 space. So we're making like a little tiny corner right here in the middle of this granny cluster. It's not really a granny cluster because it's 4 double crochets, but you know what I mean. Okay, so we have 2 double crochets, 2 chain, 2 double crochets. We are not going to chain after these 2, and we're going to go straight into the next space with a double crochet. So these guys are going to look connected, if that makes sense. 2 double crochets. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 more double crochets in that same space. One, and then 1 more. Okay, now we've got 2 tails, and I'm gonna crochet over both of them. And so I'm taking both of them because they're right next to each other, and I'm just gonna pull them across the same way I did for the previous round. Now, we did our 2 double crochets, and we don't chain between these ones and go into the next space. And we're gonna do 2 double crochets. Oops, come on. My hands are not cooperating. There we go. Oop, hold on. Backtrack. Okay, now we go. Once you start going over the tails, it starts getting easier. It's just that first couple that it like is kind of funky. So double crochet and then chain 2 and then double crochet again into that same space. Come on, buddy. Sometimes your hands just stop working. One. Oh my goodness. Okay. So see how it's kind of creating these little pockets? Um, We're going to keep going around. Last cluster of the round. Oops. Okay, so to end this round, because between the two spaces, there is no double crochet or chain two between these two stitches in the round. We're going to find that first stitch, same as we did last time, right here. Go in there, and we're going to pull through a slip stitch. Slip stitch, chain one, snip, and pull through. Okay. Round three. Round three is done. Round three is done. Now, round four is going to be the same color. Round four is the same color as round three. So we're going to start a new round with, now you might say, why did you snip if we're going to be in the same color? And the answer to that is because we have to start in chain space. You can't start in a chain space if you're ending in a spot. That's not a chain space. So put my thing on the hook. Now we're going to find the chain two space that we made. So remember, we have two different kinds of joins. We have the chain two spaces, which make these kind of corners. And then we have the two double crochets next to the two double crochets across the gap. So we're going to go into the chain two space. And we're going to do another standing half double crochet. I hate starting around with a standing half double or a standing double crochet. It's such a pain in the butt because of how the yarn goes. But it looks so much nicer when it's done. There we go. Okay. Standing double crochet to start the round. Now, in this chain two space, we're going to put 6 more double crochets. So there's going to be a total of 7 double crochets in every chain two space. So we're going to go 1, 2, oops. Now, some of you experienced crocheters may notice that we're making a shell because it's 7 double crochets in a chain two space. So it's going to make a really pretty kind of scalloped shape. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in my chain two space. So next we're going to skip this space that doesn't have the chain twos, right? That is going to be, stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's coming that's coming up in the next round. So we're going to skip this space and go to the next space. No chains or anything between them, just go another double crochet. Double crochet, and I'm going over my chain or over my tails into the chain two space. Okay, so we got to the end of the round. All of our shells are made. Same way we've been joining all of our other rounds. We're going to find that first double crochet and we're going to slip into that stitch and give it a slip stitch. Come on, bubba. Okay, slip stitch into it to join the round. Slip stitch into the original double crochet, chain one, and then we're going to snip and pull through. Snip, pull through. And now we're going to tighten that guy and pull the other tail to make sure it is tight and happy. Everybody's happy, happy, happy. Okay. Here's what we got so far. Look at this beautiful, beautiful thing. Flower almost. We've got one more round of the flower. So we're going to keep that tight. Beautiful. Green, olive, pound of love, olive. All right, for our last color change, same thing. Well, I guess it's not the last color change because we're going to do the oatmeal last, but our last color of the colors. Slip knot onto your hook, pull it tight until it's beautiful. Okay, now we're going to take our beautiful flower and we're going to do single crochet around the entire outside for this round, except for one spike single crochet in this space, this baby space, under like directly above the granny clusters from round two. So we're going to start right here with a single crochet. So we're going to pull a loop through, single crochet. And we're going to work our way around until we get to that valley between the shells. Oh my goodness, this yarn is going to make me crazy. Oh my goodness gracious. For the love of God. Okay, come on now. Come on, yarn. Don't be like that. Okay. Single crochet. Like I said, single crochet around until we get to the valley between the shells. So in this case, I got 4 single crochets in, and then I got myself to the first space. So we're going to go into that space all the way down. So let me show you that again, right? So we're going into the space above the granny cluster. So we're going to go in here and we're going to yarn over and pull the loop through. Oops, hello. Yarn over, pull the loop through, and we're going to bring it up so that it's tight up to this top and finish that single crochet. Now for the next stitch, we're going to go, we have to kind of look for it. It's going to be that first stitch that's kind of covered up with that spike. So we're going to go into that guy and single crochet right there. And now I'm going to go over my tails into the next ones, keep single crocheting around until the next valley. And now we find ourselves at the valley again. So we've got 7 single crochets in those 7 shells. And now we're going to do a spike, single crochet. So again, to show you how to do that, we're going to not go in this hole. We're going in this hole all the way down, right? So then we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and we're going to stretch it so that it's tall. And then close that single crochet. Now we're going to go hunting for our missing stitch. It's in here, right there. It's kind of hard to see with the tails, so I'll show you one where we're not in the tails, because the tails do kind of get in the way. So I'm going to keep crocheting over these tails for a minute so they get nice and secured down. We don't want anything unraveling. So we've got one more single crochet in this shell. And now we're going to go in this loop or that space all the way down there and pull up a loop, make it tall, and finish that crochet. Now go and look underneath it. You see this stitch right here? That is our first stitch of the shell. So now we have our 7 single crochet. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of the round. You can tell because my tail's getting in my way again, as per usual. Okay, so we're finishing up that 7th single crochet on that shell. So you can see we've got 3 here and then 4 from where we started. So we're gonna do like we have been doing into that first stitch. Here's my yarn. And then we're gonna slip stitch into it, slip stitch to complete the round, chain 1, snip, and pull through. All right. Now that's row 5. Look how pretty it is. Now we've got our whole African flower. The African flower motif is done. Look at how pretty it came out. I love this blue with the orange and the green. So pretty. So next we're going to do is take the flower and make it a square. So I need 13 of these boys. Last but not least, sugar cookie, pound of love. First thing we do to start a new color, same thing we do every round. We're going to make a slip knot. If I can do it, we're going to make a slip knot. My nails sometimes get in the way. Slip knot. Put your knot on your hook. Bam, pull the tail tight. Gorgeous. Okay, for this round, this is where we're going to turn this not square shape flower into a square. So we should have 8 petals. Can you count? 8 petals. Slip knot on the hook into the stitch. So we've got the spike stitch and we're going to do into the stitch right before it. Right here. Standing single crochet. Half double crochet in the spike. 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now here's where it gets weird because remember we had a slip stitch into the round at the beginning to close the round. So this is not actually the stitch, even though it looks like the stitch. This is the stitch. So we're going to go all the way over here for that next single crochet, all the way over there, right? So this one looks a little wonky because it's the first one, but the next one is a half double crochet. Half double crochet in here. Next, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So we yarn over into the next stitch. Yarn over into the next stitch. Okay. So now you can kind of see what we're starting, right? That this is the start of one corner. Now we're about to make the corner. This is my least favorite step because I hate treble crochets. So we're going to yarn over twice into the spike. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2, triple crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, another treble crochet, yarn over twice into the same spike, yarn over, and then we're going to pull through 2, yarn over, through two, yarn over, through two. So we've got 2 triple crochets connected by 3 chains. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets and we're going to work the corner backwards, right? So we did everything front ways. Now we're going to do it back ways. So we did 2 double crochets. Another double crochet. Now we're going to do a half double crochet. 3. Now we're going to do 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Oops. 4. Pull that tail tight. Okay. 4 single crochets. Now we're going to do a half double crochet into the spike. And that is our corner. Beautiful. Okay. So let's look at it and we can kind of analyze it, right? Because this is how we're going to do every corner going forward. So we do in the spike, half double crochet, 4 single crochets, half double crochet, 2 double crochets, into the next spike, triple crochet, chain 3, triple crochet. Now do it backwards. 2 double crochets, half double crochet, 4 single crochets, half double crochet into the spike. Now we do it again. One, 2. And remember, we started the round with that 1 rando. So that's going to be our number 4 on this edge. So just like everything else, we're going to slip into that stitch, slip stitch. Now, the next round, same color, no color change, and we don't have to cut the string because we're about to go all the way around with just double crochets. Last round is the easiest because it's just double crochets all the way around. So what we're going to do, we slipped into that first stitch that we made. We're going to chain 1, 2, 3, chain 3. We're going to double crochet back into that same spot because we don't want there to be a gap. So double crochet. Beautiful. Look at that baby. And now we're going to double crochet around the whole outside. And when we get to a corner, I will show you what we're going to do on the corner. Okay, we're getting close to the corner. So we're double crocheting. See, we got one more stitch here. We're gonna slip into that stitch and double crochet in it. Now, at the corner, we've got that chain 3 space. So we are going to double crochet twice. 1 and then 2. Now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, because we're making this corner smaller. And then we're going to go back into the same chain 3 space and do 2 more double crochets to turn the corner. Okay, now don't miss that first stitch of the next round. Sorry, I bumped you. Don't miss this next stitch. So make sure you get in there for all your double crochets. Let's see, so now we've got this corner there, and we're going to continue working double crochets all the way around. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. My goodness. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in every corner. All right, one more stitch in the round. One more stitch in the round. Okay, cool. So we finished that last stitch in the round. Now we're going to do like we've done for every single round so far. We're going to slip into the top stitch chain one, snip, come on, snip. And we're going to pull this through. And that is the granny square, the African flower motif granny square. Beautiful, beautiful. So now you need 13 of these bad boys, and then we'll sew them together.